Today's MMA T Company fight previews with Tyshawn Williams. Tyshawn's going to be making his MMA debut on Saturday, September 18th. That's going to be for Premier Fight League PFL 30 down in Florida. Tyshawn, thanks for joining me this morning. I know you got training a little while. How is this training camp going? How are you feeling going into your first MMA fight?
Oh, yeah, it's going pretty well. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. The thing that a little excited, anxious, and a little nervous as well. Too. It's my first go, so definitely like a little excited about the whole process.
So I want to talk to you about just the process and transitioning from, collegiate wrestling now into MMA. A lot of the guys that I talk to that wrestled for any length of time, they like to kind of talk about the comparisons that go between just the grind of wrestling, training and practice, and then the grind of MMA. So did that translate well for you? Is that something that, you kind of enjoy that grind? I mean, you wrestle for so long, it kind of has to be part of you at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you on that completely. It's definitely a part of me, like you said. Like I really enjoyed the transition. I think that it was pretty easy to adjust, to a lot of different things and stuff like that. The main part that I did like about transitioning over that helps me a lot is like, when you get into those deep waters, you're getting a little tired, a little fatigued. Mm-hmm. And after wrestling that for so long and then wrestling at a high level, like once you get put in that water, it's either you're going to drown or you're going to swim type thing. So being able to be used to that is definitely beneficial, like for me.
And that kind of sink or swim in the later rounds is something that is instilled in you from when you're pretty young in wrestling, and your grappling can kind of help you there and help you take over and win those rounds. But is striking something that is completely new to you, or is that something that you had done as a kid? You do any kind of Golden Gloves boxing or anything? Talk to me about the striking component of MMA.
Yeah, I boxed for a little short amount of time when I was a kid, maybe a few years, like 2-3 years, and then I actually got back in the gym towards like that. When I left Kentucky during the quarantine, I had got back in the gym down in Upton with Coach Calvin and them. So I was down there for a bit, just to sharpen up a little bit before I went over to England and stuff. So transitioning now to MMA and things like that is I had to get used to it a little bit, with the kicks and everything being thrown in there and stuff like that too. But being able to see them and stuff like that and knowing where I want to strike from it definitely, it definitely was a little different, but I got it. I'm getting it down as more and more, as much as I can.
And you mentioned being in England, and you mentioned before we started recording that you're originally from Baltimore. You wrestled at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. You mentioned going over to England. Now you're down in Florida for training. So how are you making these connections, and how are you choosing when and where you're going to get the best training for these fights?
That's a tough question. Me being honest with you, man, I go with the flow, type thing. And I went out to England or whatever like that with those guys. Those are my guys. Those are pretty good guys out there. I like being around them and everything like that. I kind of, when I got out there, the second wave of quarantine happened and things like that. So things got kind of locked down and stuff like that. And I had a little injury going on that I had, that occurred when I was out there and stuff like that. So I figured coming home, being able to get the proper care on my body and stuff like that was the most beneficial. No matter how much time it took, we didn't really want to rush anything with me fighting or jumping right back into things because I was hurt, And now that I got myself together and stuff like that, I had decided to come down here to MMA Masters. I like it and stuff like that. I feel like it was a good chance to see if this gym fits me so that I can grow and things like that. And yeah, that's about it really. And then, they feel as though I was ready enough to fight. So they wanted to put me out there, whatever like that. So I just said, all right, come on, let's get it then.
And that's something that you always kind of rely on your coaches, especially early on, right? You might feel ready, and then your coaches are like, all right, we need to work on these 2 or 3 things. But once you get their full support to go into that cage, it must feel good to be like, all right, let's roll.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure. Yeah. Their approval was a big thing.
And you talked about your injury and you're coming back from injury, and then you had mentioned earlier, just taking care of your body and doing the right things. So I wanted to ask you just how your recovery has been, what you use for recovery. It's something that I think a lot of athletes in today's day and age don't overlook, like it's been overlooked in the past. So just wanted to ask you about that.
Oh yeah, I think recovery is very important. I learned that in wrestling towards like the middle of my career to the end because I had a lot of nagging injuries and things like that. So I just started keeping up with a lot of maintenance on my body. So like things I do now is like I make sure I go at least get a massage like once a week, type thing. See if I can get straight cupping, that type stuff like that. Ice baths is pretty critical. And the biggest thing that I felt was a problem with sleep, so I just try to sleep as comfortable as I can, you know what I mean? That type thing. And drink a bunch of water, before I go to bed, when I get up in the morning and stuff like that. So I feel a little hydrated before I go train. Cause there's been times I've haven't been hydrated, I'll be honest with you. I was coming late on Mondays from a flight home and coming right in here to train and stuff like that. Yeah, I was definitely dehydrated and I can feel the difference. So cleaning up on the small things like that, keeping my body maintenance up is helping me a lot.
And speaking of hydration, I know that wrestlers from an early age are always concerned about making weight, cutting weight, doing different things for weight manipulation. Are you gonna be cutting a lot of weight for this fight? Or are you kind of walking around on weight? How is your weight going into this fight?
I'm cutting a little bit, nothing too crazy, really, honestly. I'm fighting at a catch weight at 150 pounds.
Okay.
So I probably was about 161, 162, nothing too crazy, and that was last week. So like right now I'm probably like a 159, somewhere around there running around. But I'm fine though, like I've been cutting weight for some time now and stuff like that. So I think I kind of got it down.
Yeah, I mean, once you get within that 10 pounds range, and you still got 9 days till the fight, so that should be a pretty easy water cut down to get on the scale.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And then, before I let you go, I just want to ask you, you said you're a little nervous, a little excited, a little anxious. Do you know anything about your opponent? Are you going in there with a specific game plan? Like what's the mental state like right now about 9 days out from the fight?
Oh, I mean, I don't really know too much about him, you know what I mean? Like, dang, that's about it. I'm, uh, I mean, I think I was gonna probably just look at a clip of him or something, just to see a little bit of what he got. But I didn't even really check on him. Let me be honest with you. I know I probably should do those things. But I always had my coach to kind of do those things in college and stuff like that. Or what I mean, and he didn't really say too much. He might just tell me this, that, and then that's about it. Really, I just kind of go out there and let it fly, that type thing. But yeah, like definitely, I'm definitely am anxious and a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? Just it's my first walk and stuff like that. I guess that's kind of why we're taking my time and stuff like that, taking our time with me
Mhm.
and my career like that, getting it off the ground. But my game plan. Let me think.
And you don't guys put out too much if you don't want to.
uh, but no, I mean, I'm all there to do whatever it takes. He might, he think I'm a wrestler. He
Mhm.
doesn't know exactly what I can do and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. I might wrestle him. I might put the hands on him. One of the two.
You talked about making the walk. You got your walkout song figured out yet?
No, I haven't got
No.
that. I was believe it or not, like one of my buddies, he's an artist or whatever that he raps. So he was like, he wanted to walk me out or whatever like that. So I mean, I wasn't too pressed to do all of that type stuff. But I mean, I would do it for him if he wanted to still do it too. Like we'll see when the time comes. We do. I might just pick a song or something like that. I haven't figured that part out yet, though.
All right. Well, good luck with that. That's one of my favorite parts of any fight is walking out to the song that you pick. So enjoy it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I am though.
Um, just wanted to give you a chance, shout out anybody that's been helping you out, any sponsors, any kind of coaches, anything like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely sponsor wise, I want to give a big shout out to Vital Body Therapeutic as a lady named Miss Kelly Stowe out in Santa Cruz, California. She helps me a lot with a lot of different strength creams that's relax your muscles, things like that, different body soaks and stuff like that, as well as true sport physical therapy that's helping me get back to the position that I am now, for me to even be able to be here and fight and be able to perform things like that. And there's a bunch of other sponsors that's in there, like Shine Bright LLC, keep my teeth white, even though I got nothing to it. There's a few more in there that's that I could throw. But I definitely appreciate all of those guys and women that's putting into me and things like that, believing in me. Early on in this stage, me being an amateur, being able to have several sponsors is definitely an amazing thing. So yeah, shout out to those people. I appreciate everything that they do for me.
Awesome, Tyshawn. You're gonna be fighting, like I said, on September 18th, making that MMA debut. Kick some ass. We'll see you soon.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.